we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Whoa. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video. I know that you are probably not expecting to see so much content so close together on this channel. It's downright unrealistic, but I am feeling generous this month, I suppose. I just got through Gay Wrath month, and I'm fucking exhausted, frankly, so I figure it's time to give you guys a few gifts. It's also weird that I'm doing so much of the same content, right? I bet you guys aren't expecting another Jujutsu Kaisen video so quickly. Like, what is he doing? Well, ladies and gentlemen, your boy got validated. So unfortunately for you, you have to see the same show commentated by me twice. I did want to talk about this arc of Jujutsu Kaisen just in its own little video, because now that it is finished and we're getting a little bit of a break, one, I'd like there to be some content out there about this, because I will not let my excitement die for this, so no, I won't. And two, because I just really fucking love this show and I can't get enough of it. So, you know, after the episode that I made a wins video about, there were 2 more episodes that blew my goddamn mind. So here we are, right? And we've got, look at that. It's an interesting array of drawings for sure. I really tried with drawing Gojo here. Anyway, I wanted to talk about all of the reasons why I really, really loved this arc and feel that it was probably my favorite arc of Jujutsu Kaisen so far. Listen, I know there have been some bangers, and I know this isn't even about our main characters, but it is so fascinating, and it's such a wonderful setup for what's to come. The upgrade from season 1 to 2 has led me to the conclusion that this actually is my favorite arc of Jujutsu Kaisen so far. Although I'm sure I will be changing my tune when the next arc comes, because everybody's talking about it, and frankly, I'm fucking scared. And listen, there are many reasons why I love this arc, and it's not just because of man boobies, okay? Although that is a very large part of it, let's be honest, gentlemen. Gentlemen, I just kind of excluded straight people. I was just like, you know what? No. First of all, the animation has completely stepped up since season 1, somehow. I mean, we were all incredibly amazed when season 1 came out at how unbelievably detailed the animation was and how much thought and care was put into every single scene, and somehow they've gotten better. I don't really know how, but they have gotten better. Every single scene is done so deliberately, so beautifully. Every moment is given such an attention to detail that I really haven't seen in many anime before. Even the moments that aren't big ones, that aren't played up moments, are even given a lot of thought, care in how the storytelling is done. I'll get more to that later. They didn't want to waste any single second that they had during these episodes. I'm sure because they knew a lot of people were waiting for it. But it's a really great way to kick this season off, especially with a flashback. You know, it's gonna have to be a little bit flashy. It's gonna have to be a little bit more engaging. I don't want to say that because I'm sure the next arc will be just as engaging, but you want it to be incredibly produced, because with this long of a flashback, I mean, I'm not saying that I would get uninterested, but it's common for people to lose focus, especially if they haven't seen the main character that they have been accustomed to for a very long time. So I really much enjoyed that kind of care that was put into it. I really appreciated it. It's really well done, and I mean, I'm just downright terrified for what it means for the next arc. Another reason is this arc is super important for Gojo. You know, before this, Gojo was really seen, to me at least, because, you know, not a manga reader, a kind of just like all-knowing sensei who's always been powerful. But it's really good that we get to see him as a really conceited and arrogant teenager who's still learning how to do things. You know, in that second episode when we see him try to use the cursed reversal technique, Red, he fails. Oh. She's fine! He just fails, and it's so interesting because we saw that technique from him so early in the first season, and he does it without, I mean, he loves building up to it because he's a little full of himself. I mean, while he was a teenager, a lot full of himself. He gets humbled a little bit by the experience that follows in this arc. Doesn't really have to put a bunch of effort into it or make a big show out of it. He's kind of just like, Red. Bang, that guy goes flying, he's got a volcano for a head, and unfortunately he's still alive, but only barely, and because he had friends help out, so, you know, he lost. But it's super important to see Gojo like this and also see how he was able to learn and see that not everyone is this perfect godlike being. Even if Gojo is this perfect godlike being, he still had to learn how to get there. It's not just a thing that he was born with. He's not just over the top for no reason, you know? He had a technique and he had to learn with it. I mean, that awakening scene, folks, holy shit. If I thought his death scene was beautiful, what the actual fuck? I mean, they literally, I mean, you want to talk about making a character look like a god. They, I feel like, went out of their way to make Gojo literally look like he died and ascended to heaven again. Again, it was unbelievable. First of all, the fact that as a learning experience, he fully died, but also that the awakening scene is so uneven to how the fight was before with Toji, you know? He got completely obliterated the first time around. But then in the second fight, it's not even really a fight anymore. It's just one person completely obliterating another person. And it was really incredible for him to have to pay a large price for that awakening. Kind of things really started to go downhill. I mean, it's really just that last episode of this arc. After Gojo was able to kind of break out and learn these new powers. It's really interesting how the plot moves. And another reason is understanding Geto. I mean, Geto is a villain that we knew literally nothing about. I mean, watching the show, Season 1, saw him, and obviously you can tell that he is the main villain. It's pretty clear. Well, but I wanted to learn more about his past. We know that he went to Jujutsu High. We know that he went on a rampage and killed a bunch of people with some cursed spirits, and we saw that in Jujutsu Kaisen 0. The crazy thing is that we didn't know just how good of friends he was with Gojo. They really leaned on that at the end of Jujutsu Kaisen 0 when Gojo finally killed Geto, which is also like, question mark, what is Geto doing in Jujutsu Kaisen? Why is he here? And he's not a cursed spirit, because that lady could see him, and she couldn't, like, at the restaurant, could see him, and could not see any of the other cursed spirits that were with him, so I don't know. But one thing that we have learned is how he got to this point, and it's incredibly detailed. Even though, I will say, it happened so fast. I mean, literally, they lose against Toji, and they lose everything. I mean, like, Geto starts off this arc saying things like Jujutsu exists only to protect non-sorcerers. Like, oh, that is the complete opposite of where he ends up at the end of these 6 episodes. Again, it spans over a couple of months, but it's told very quickly. They don't make it feel like rushed. They don't make it a Daenerys, if you know what I'm talking about. There's a clear reason for it. There's a catalyst, and the catalyst is somebody we already know, which brings me into my next point. I can't believe how efficient they are at utilizing flashbacks. They really put in as many Easter eggs and rewards for people who have watched the first season. Well, I mean, duh. And the movie. There's so much to enjoy. I mean, I didn't even realize until after he had saved those 2 little girls in the last episode that Geto was saving those 2 girls with the phones from the movie, who I still don't know anything about, but I recognized them and I was like, oh my god. So there's a reason why they're following them, and it's good that they show that because it gives us more background as to what Geto is after. I think it's fascinating, his tipping point. He ended up killing that whole town because they were abusing these 2 children, which is, you know, a very, you know, as, I don't know, I see through it as like, oh my god, of course, it has to be him saving children, because then it's easier for us to understand why he's doing what he's doing, and that happens all the time with villains. The author wants us to understand. I do kind of love that trope a lot, and it is nice to see this person who is kind of broken at least open up for some people, even though he is now kind of racist. They have all of these other characters, adults and teachers from other schools that we recognize now, like Utahime, Mei Mei. They have the coroner, who I didn't even fucking recognize. And it's unbelievable to see all of these people growing up because we now know them as depressed, frustrated adults. Or we don't, and you look at the person in the flashback and say, that person is going to die. or they're Nanami and are already depressed. He crams as much as he can in there for you to be like, oh my god, and that's why, okay, well, that makes sense. Even the stuff with, like, Tengen-sama. I don't know why I said Sama, just because they say it, like, 30 times an episode in this arc. Even the stuff with that, and the reason why barriers are weaker now, showing us the story about how that happened, and having that story ready at the beginning of the actual, like, the main story. It's just some great writing there, and I love to see it, absolutely. There's only one thing, one Easter egg that I was hoping to see that was missing, and that is Baby Panda. Although, I'm not sure if he existed around this time, because while it isn't that far in the past, I don't know how Panda's aging works. You know, I kind of just, it's unclear. Don't tell me in the comments that he doesn't age, because, I mean, we saw him as a baby, but the principal kind of already looked like the Terminator by that point, so maybe. But one thing that I really like about the way this was kind of edited and animated, more so than last season, they did it a lot last season, of course, they're excellent storytellers because Gege is an excellent storyteller. But one thing that they really stepped up was playing up moments and building tension. They really spend time. They don't have dialogue covering every minute of the episode. It's not always action. There is time when nobody is saying anything, and it's just atmosphere, building up the environments and setting up the tension for the next scene, alluding to an event that's going to happen in the future. It's all really well done and, like, really well planned out and directed. The directing, namely, for this season, I would say, is kind of incredible. If I had to name a couple scenes, I would say Toji and Geto during their fight, looking through those paper windowed panels. Incredible scene, and it goes on for quite a bit, but it builds the tension so well. Geto's rampage, the way that is edited and it matches up with the monologue at the beginning, also the build up to it. That one scene of him leaning against the shower, I usually don't like shower scenes, but this one is necessary, and the animators fucking crushed it, but also the framing and the directing, because of the narration and the music of that moment, really play up his descent and actually sell it. Geto and Amanai walking to assimilate with Tengen. Crazy, long, quiet scene that builds up so much tension, and then the scene starts to get happy, and it's suspicious, let me tell you that. Gojo's death and subsequent awakening obviously are really played up. I love the frames with Gojo kind of floating into the air. They spend a lot of time giving details to the expressions. I love how they make heroes look like villains. They do it more so in this one, and then they also make them look angelic figures in Gojo's case. Even these smaller scenes, like Geto just beating that one older dude's ass from the religious group, and his life flashing before his eyes with the music, is so excellently edited and so well planned out, even though the fight is overall not incredibly important to the plot. Episodes, they don't even feel like they change scenes because the transitions are so fluid between them. I mean, even if they are, you know, changing from the way that the episodes are edited and the transitions flow with the music is so well done that it's honestly, episodes feel like 8 minutes long for a reason. It's because it flows together so quickly that you don't even get a chance to process, you know, I'm halfway through this episode, or I just probably finished a 5-minute scene. You're not keeping track because it's so hard to tell. But overall, it was just an incredible arc. I'm surprised it was so short. I think they could have even made it longer, but it was fantastic. It provided so much excellent context. We met a lot of characters that died and we are never going to meet again, and we knew them for such a short time, but my heart will break for them forever, just like Junpei. Junpei and Amanai, two people I knew for about 4 episodes, and I'm still heartbroken about it. I still have not gotten over it. If you see me in public, don't talk to me about it, okay? Because I'm still processing. So, okay, leave me alone. Give me some time. But anyway, that was my kind of retrospective on the first arc of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. I'm really excited to see where the show goes from here. And if you want to support us further, you can go to patreon.com/PosiTVty. There, you can support us further. You can get videos super early before they come out on YouTube. You can get full-time reactions to what we are reacting to, currently The Last of Us. us and a new one coming up. Special surprise, but it's already on the Patreon, so get on. And you get to choose exactly what you see on the channel. I mean, listen, this video only got made because someone put in the YouTube comment section that they wanted to see more Jujutsu Kaisen stuff. So hey, I mean, whatever works, just suggest stuff. But hey, if you want to suggest stuff and have me make it with a impassioned fury, make sure to throw that request on Patreon. Besides that, it's just a really great way to support us if you want to show us that you like what we do and that you want us to keep going. So let us know, and I will, or maybe we will. I don't know what's getting posted next, but I'll see you for the next video. And subscribe, like, comment, do whatever you can. And spread some positivity out there, folks, seriously. I mean, oh my god, I need it.